of Ohio uh, locked down, froze the assets of Mark Carney and Doug Ford because of foreign connected transactions. We could have told you they were foreign asset. You should have just asked us, Governor of Ohio. Thank you, though. Thank you for exacting more consequences on Doug Ford and Mark Carney than all of Canada could ever manage to do since the beginning of time. This is wild. I love America. I love America.
Yes, I have a TikTok account. Yes, it is very small, but you wouldn't know it.
So the
The
governor of
governor of
Ohio,
Ohio. But you wouldn't know it in the comments section. You'd think people would have figured it out just by the name. Why is it that when you agree with me, I'm a comic, but when you don't, I'm supposed to be a reporter? Make it make sense. July 21st, 2026. And you know what? This is the original comic reporter. Comic. You think people would know by the title? Think people would know by the name of the channel? Nope. Nope. This is, to answer your question, no, I didn't know the story about Doug Ford and Mark Carney being sanctioned by the United States of America for foreign connected transactions originated from an AI generated Facebook meme. And you know what? I didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't care. I just knew that it sounded absurd enough to run with on a comedy channel, perfect for a comedy and satire YouTube channel. So I repeated it on a podcast and TikTok because that's my lane. And surely Canadians are smart enough to know that you really don't need to fact check this because it's obviously so absurd that no one could possibly believe it. And I have no responsibility to the cognitive ability of the low hanging fruit on the internet. None. None. If you picked up that TikTok video and you fact checked it, I am not at all responsible. Oh my goodness. You are not my responsibility. I knew Canadian literalism was a problem when it came to entertainment and news consumption, but I had no idea. I had no idea it was 7,000 views on a 131 follower TikTok account. I had no idea just how far the Canadian ability to filter intent from reality was actually. I had no idea it was this bad. There are Canadians, and most of them exist in YouTube and TikTok comment sections. There are Canadians who actually believe that no one in Canada can self-determine fact from fiction. All of them show up in the YouTube comment section to self-report their lack of ability to rely on their fellow Canadians to be able to tell fact from fiction. Like, this is why we can't have nice things in Canada. These insultingly stupid Canadian fact checks are absolutely why we can't have anything nice in this country. So it might not be a good time to tell you this, but there's another rumor that Doug Ford has decided the indoor plumbing might actually be a violation of human rights to public defecation. And to demonstrate his dedication to the cause, apparently, from what I understand, from what's being reported from reliable sources within the Doug Ford outer circle, who have nothing to do with Doug Ford, he will be making a spectacle of himself by showing us what human rights looks like while standing in front of a synagogue in downtown Toronto. That's right. Doug Ford has recommitted himself to the violation of human rights that indoor plumbing has become, and he is going to show his dedication to the cause by publicly demonstrating his dedication to defecation at a place of worship in downtown Toronto. That's a rumor swirling around Toronto right now. Lots of people are running, lots of very reliable people are running with it. Quite frankly, I think it's exactly as believable as Doug Ford and Mark Carney having their assets frozen by the government of Ohio. I think the two things are exactly the same likelihood to have happened. Listen, some would say this story is misinformation. Some would say this story is misinformation, and those people never listen to anything past the 10-second mark. These people absolutely ruin everything for everyone else. And I'm starting to think that might be the intent. Absolutely ruin everything for people with attention spans and a sense of humor. And I'm not saying Melanie Jolie is one of those people, but I'm also not saying that she's not. I need to understand something. My dedication to truth is absolute. It's absolute. I will not Have people questioning the integrity of the Canadian news cycle. I won't have it. I will not have any Canadian citizens doubting that anyone on the internet would ever say anything absurd for any reason whatsoever. I don't know when you guys got so cynical. All of these things I am saying are at least as true as Pierre Poilievre being against abortion or Mark Carney being a man of the people. Facts are facts. Facts are facts. I don't know what to tell you. The evidence is the evidence. You're going to have to trust the experts. Reality just is what it is. And all of the experts are in my comment section. Listen, Canada. Is it still misinformation if you tell people it's misinformation, but they don't watch the video long enough to see that part where you tell them it's misinformation? Is it still misinformation? Or is it just entertainment people decided was the truth? Which is it? Is it misinformation if it requires people to use what's left of their brain? Or is it just misinformation if it makes people upset? I need an answer. I need an answer. I'm going to need the comment section to fill me in on exactly what point jokes and entertainment become subject to the reality you have created for yourself, the reality no one else can see but you. I know there are experts in the comment section, and I need them to educate me on what I am and I'm not allowed to say. And then I will tell you, and then I need them to tell me how much of their brain you are comfortable with an audience using. That's what I need to know. I just want to be sure before I make Doug Ford demonstrating human rights in front of a Jewish synagogue to show his dedication to diversity and inclusion. I need to be sure that people are cognitively inclined enough to be as mad about that as humanly possible. Because I mean, if you want it to be real, it can be. It can be. I have no control over your reality. Not even a little bit. I can change I can't change your reality. Only you can do that. So if you want to manifest Doug Ford crapping on the steps of a place of worship, you are perfectly welcome to do that. All I'm doing is giving you the idea. You need to make sure you have the necessary ammunition to say creativity hurt your feelings, and thus Doug Ford actually is crapping on the steps of a place of worship. I need people to understand that the things I say are exactly as based in reality as believing Pierre Poilievre is trying to outlaw abortion or in bed with the Indian government. It's at least as true as that, right? And because all three of these stories carry the exact same amount of truth and reality, you are required to alter your reality to contain all three of these bits of information as if they are true and re-report them across every platform you can find as if they are reality. You have to do that. You have no choice. News is news. You can either sit around and complain about AI slop and false information and being misled by the media and lied to by false narratives created by the lizard people and the Canadian government, or you can realize why that works and just lean into it like a regular person does. I think it's time that Canadian media just leans fully into the absurdity. If we're going to just make things up and throw them at the wall to see if it sticks, if that's what we're going to do, then at least all you can do is lean into it. The least you can do is own it. Just own it. If you're going to be a source of information and entertainment for this purpose of outraging clicks, you're going to have to go all the way with it. Just go all the way with it. Stop trying to be the smartest person in the room. Just go all the way with it and don't complain when other people are better at doing it than you because you're so dedicated to truth and facts that your misinformation isn't half as entertaining as their misinformation. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Oh, and own it. Own it's fine. What I'm saying is that if you lie to make stuff up and just generally be disruptive, at least do it in good faith. That's what I'm saying. If you want to say that Doug Ford is going to defecate on the steps of a synagogue in downtown Toronto, I'm fine with that. As long as you're doing it in a way that makes the audience at fault if they believe you. You can lie, but you have to do it in such an absurd way that the only stupid people would ever pick up the story and run with it. If you want to say that Melanie Jolie is the secret sixth wife of a Texas oil baron from Mars who is laundering money through the Canadian government that he made through human trafficking and the sale of harvested organs on the black market, then you can say that. You can say that. You can absolutely say that Melanie Jolie is the sixth wife of a Texas oil baron from Mars who is laundering money through the Canadian government that he made through human trafficking and the sale of harvested organs through the black market. You can say that. Just do it in a way that if anyone believes it, they are the idiot. Because let's be honest, Canadians aren't stupid. Canadians know that what satire is, and they like it. They like it. They like seeing people be creative and come up with stories that have absolutely no chance of being true. And the people that show up in the comments to correct you and say, well, actually, they're the stupid ones. The well, actually, people cannot hold the thought in their head that anything on the internet should be for entertainment only and not steeped in facts and seriousness. Stupid people want everything to line up with their sensitivities, and smart people are fine if something they see on the internet may not be altogether true or even be completely fabricated. This is the problem in Canada. This is the problem. The problem in Canada is internet hall monitors who have nothing better to do with their time and are going through the internet policing anything they want to believe is misinformation because it doesn't allow them to feel good about being the smartest person in the comment section when it becomes clear they aren't in enough emotional control to enjoy the satire and comedy of leaning into the absurdity of something that is obviously not true and was never intended to be. Canada doesn't have a misinformation problem. It doesn't. There is no misinformation problem here in Canada. None. There is no problem with misinformation in Canada. What we have in Canada is a problem with literalist idiots who think that absolutely everything needs to be fact checked and shut down if its intent isn't 100% obvious to them. That's the crisis in Canada. That's the crisis. It's not misinformation. It's stupid people who just can't help themselves but be so literalist that absolutely everything that isn't true but people say becomes something that must be corrected until all the fun in Canadian media has been completely sucked out of it. And everyone is just watching the most sanitized version of misinformation. And everyone just thinks absolutely everything everyone says is a direct threat to democracy and freedom in the Canadian way. That's the Canadian problem. So yes, Canadians are the stupidest smart people that have ever existed in all of history since the beginning of time, even when you include Americans in the equation. It's true. It's true. It's true. And they keep on proving it right. Canadians are the stupidest and most cognitively impaired smart people that have ever graced the internet with their literalist, hypersensitive presence, and the internet would be far better off if Canadians had their internet restricted a little more every time they fact checked a piece of satire, even by accident, because they thought it was the right thing to do. Listen, Canada, if we're at the point where you think that a story about the governor of Ohio sanctioning Mark Carney and Doug Ford over foreign transactions needs to be fact checked, then we're at the point where your right to have the internet should probably be revoked. You're literally ruining everything for everyone else, and maybe that makes you feel good. But what would make me feel good is if you were in prison and I was writing more satire about how you being in prison is an essential part of democracy in Canada. That's what I want from Canada right now. I want the fact checkers in jail and satirists and comedians running the world the way it should be. That's the way the world was designed to work. That's how Canada was supposed to be. That's why John A. Macdonald was our first prime minister. That's the way it should be. Like Canada was built on it. And if that isn't absurd enough for you, you should see a dermatologist about the problem you're having with the thickness of your skin. Anyways, good luck with your facts and data and information. I'll be over here figuring out ways to make AI work for me. Good luck.